Welcome to the show. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite and most productive prospecting techniques of all time. Effectively prospecting at the time of delivery, with the emphasis on effective. I've been teaching this technique for 35 years, and it's helped thousands of salespeople around the world, just like you, dramatically increase sales. This year, it's working more than ever, all with this one simple technique. Now, people are willing to fill out quite a bit of paperwork when they take delivery of the vehicle, whether they like it or not. And here's where adding just one more form could easily add dozens of sales for you every year. The record for the greatest success with this technique was a Nissan salesperson from South Carolina who averaged 10 or 12 sales a month before I introduced this approach to him during my monthly in-house training session at their dealership. Now, when I first started training at the dealership, they were only doing 60 units a month with 7 salespeople. But that changed within 30 days. Now, using our delivery prospecting form, this one salesperson delivered an additional 20 units in the first month from this one technique alone. Oh, he mastered it perfectly. Selling a unit on the first day of the month, he got 3 good leads with the form, and before the sun went down, he contacted those leads and got 2 of them in, sold both of those. They filled out the sheet as well. Now he was selling 4 and 5 deep off of one form. Now this guy gives us this guy, who gives us that woman, who gives us her son, and you can do that too, starting today. Long story short, he ended up with an additional 12 from prospecting over the phone and a measly 4 from floor traffic for a dealership record of 36 units that month. Now, that contributed to an all-time dealership record as well in my first month of training there. Good job, Robert. Now, using this technique should average about 2 names per sheet, but a washout of about 1.25 good, legitimate referrals. Now, for a 12-unit salesperson, that would average 15 additional great referral opportunities every month. Let's say you only get about half of them in the door. That's an additional 6 to 8 great ups every month. Now, you have to close at least half of them, which will guarantee you an additional 3 to 4 sales every month. That's for a 12-car a month person. Now, based on your pay plan and bonuses, this one technique gives the average salesperson at least a good $12,000 to $18,000 a year raise or more, depending on your pay plans. So, let's take a look at the form. At the top of the form, it boldly starts out with, "Thank you for your business." Now, the paragraph right underneath that says, "It's been my pleasure helping you with your purchase. I would also like to help others you know, like friends, relatives, work associates, neighbors, etc., with their next purchase. All of my customers always complete this form before they leave. Again, thank you and welcome to our dealership family." Notice the word always and all of my customers. They're part of all, and they're definitely always, which means no exception. At the top of the form, it distinctly has 2 spaces, one for the customer's name printed boldly, and the salesperson, your name printed boldly. Now, it makes it appear that this is a joint responsibility. Now, we specifically have spaces for 3 referrals, no more. You don't want to overwhelm any customer with more than 3. We even have a line at the bottom that says the best prospect for my trade-in is, and of course on the bottom form it says, "Thanks for the referrals. Enjoy your purchase." Now, for best results, you have to do this before you put them in the finance office. Customers come out of the finance office brain dead from all the paperwork and just want to get in their car and go. It's best to have this form come out of a deal jacket or some form of pre-delivery folder. Either way, it's got to be out of sight, out of mind. You can't have it laying out there on the desk where it could easily be a distraction for them to look at, read, and try to come up with some kind of answer, which would be no. The presentation of this form is everything. First, part of the presentation is all about a customer appreciation and showing them the love. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, do you have your wallets with you? Can you take them out for a second? I have something important that needs to be put in there. As you see, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I have some very important information on the front of my business card. On the front of my business card, I've written the 800 roadside assistance number up towards the top. If you ever lose your keys, lock your keys inside the car, whatever it may be, you're going to really want to have this number. So whatever you do, don't lose this card. Now, different manufacturers might also have different numbers that are very important for customers to hold on to, OnStar, etc., whatever. Those numbers can also be written on the front of the card. Either way, write down important information that customers appreciate having on that card. Wow, thanks, Tom. I really appreciate that. Now, see, I purposely write it on the front of the business card, not the back, because customers will keep the important information face up in the wallet, and if the back of the card is face up, and they just buried your name on the bottom, so now your name is face down, out of sight, out of mind. Now, most of the older salespeople and low-tech salespeople like this approach. Me, I'm a little like you, a little more new school. Technique is the same, but the approach is a little different. Folks, can you take your cell phone out for just a second? Physically watch them or help them put your information into a new contact under their contact section. Add your cell phone, company name, dealership number, email, and any other important information, especially those roadside assistance numbers. Now, before you save, be sure they add any and all important additional information that makes that contact more valuable to them. This forces them to remember your name and dealership, so when they go to use these important numbers, all they got to do is search for your dealership, and boom, there you are. I prefer the more tech-savvy way to do it, but got to remember, if they get locked out of their car and their cell phone's in there, they're going to wish they had that business card in their wallet. It's up to you. You might do both. Either way, customers will appreciate the effort you put forth to look out for them. Wow, thanks, Tom. That's a good idea. Now you make your move. No problem. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. Folks, I want you to come back and buy more cars. I want you to send your friends, your relatives, your neighbors. Oh, which reminds me, I almost forgot. And looking straight in their eyes, folks, I get most of my business here from repeats and referrals from people just like yourself. As a matter of fact, all my customers always do one thing for me before they leave. Now, at that moment, you pull out that sheet, put it in front of them, and say, what I need is 3 prospects. It has their name and your name on it. What I need is 3 prospects. It doesn't have to be a hot prospect. Oh, just the best 3 you come up with. That one of these days might be thinking about some type of new or used vehicles for themselves as well. Now, if they're a hot prospect, put them up towards the top. But go ahead, take your time. I'm going to check with the finance office to see if they're ready for you. Only be a few minutes. Take your time. Now, if you've done a good job in the sales process, if you built a good relationship with the customer, and you showed them the love with the roadside assistance, your contact details, and told them how much you really appreciate their business, then you set yourself up pretty good with this technique. Even so, when you come back from checking with finance, you're going to get a handful of various responses. Obviously, the best response is you get 2 to 3 good leads. But even with that, you have to verify the leads, making sure that they're prospects and not suspects. Mr. Customer, what made you think of Ann? Has she talked about maybe doing something? Oh, that's my cousin. She's given her car to her son and getting a new one for herself. Verify the spelling, the pronunciation, the name, and verify the exact phone number. Is that a 3 or an 8? Is that a G or a Y? Oh, what made you think of Frank? Oh, that's my grandpa. He has a really old truck. Has he talked about doing something? No, but he should, because it's a really old truck. Now, right now, Frank, that's a suspect, not a prospect. Doesn't mean you don't call him, but you handle that conversation much differently than you would a referral. Another response might be, I only have one, can't think of anybody else right now, but if you call me tomorrow, I might have more. Don't worry about it, Mr. Customer. I'll call you in a couple days anyway to see if you have any questions on the vehicle, go over a couple last-minute details. Obviously, any help would be appreciated. You might occasionally get the response of, let me take it home with me and fill it out, and then I'll send it back to you. call their bluff by giving them a self-addressed stamped envelope. You know, they're more likely to follow through on that because this is America and we don't waste postage. You might get some referral reluctance once in a while too. Well, you know, I know somebody, but let me talk to them first. Obviously, use my referral reluctance script to handle the objection, but should that not work, then call the bluff. Well, when will you be speaking to your friend? Well, I'll see him Wednesday night at bowling. Great. You talk to him Wednesday night to see what's up. I'll follow up with you Thursday morning to see where to go from there. You and I both know the odds that he's not going to be doing a discussion about this guy's car purchase during the beer frame. Pretty low odds. Your customer's more likely to relent by saying, here's his name, here's his number, right? Last but not least, total reluctance. You know, I really don't feel comfortable giving out names. Defuse the situation immediately. The key to mastering prospecting is that people don't feel prospected. Oh, Mr. Johnson, don't worry about it. It's not that important. The important thing is keeping you happy with your purchase. That's my job. Should you ever know anybody and you send them down my way, it would always be appreciated. Now conclude this conversation with these people by reminding them of the first service, telling them you get back in a couple of days to go over last minute details, make sure they don't have any problems with the operation of the vehicle, etc. Over the years, this technique has helped thousands of salespeople sell more units every month. So just to help you out, I'm going to give away some freebies. Now, for the first 15 people to email me at the end of this show at info@stukertraining.com, I'm going to send you a free PDF of the delivery prospecting form so you can start printing it, using it, and selling more cars today. But your email address has to have a dealership address in it. Now, it gets better than that. Whoever uses this technique from the date of the show between now and the end of November, whoever gets the most results on this, sells the most cars, you are going to be a guest on my show of champions. I love this business. I'm Tom Stuker. Thanks for tuning in.